All right, well, we have Aaron. So, Aaron, could you tell us your full name, a little bit about yourself, your education, and maybe some family or any other information you'd like voters to know about you?
Yeah. So for me, I'm from the area. I grew up in Sigourney, Iowa, just a half hour east of here. I grew up on a farm, raised crop and a couple thousand head of hog. And so learned a lot from my parents, hardworking individuals, good people. From there I went on to Iowa State University and I studied psychology in my undergraduate. Worked with the football program there at Iowa State after graduation, and eventually that led me here to William Penn, where I started coaching football, and then that led to an opportunity working in the education field, again here at William Penn, which is where I'm currently at, still working in our education department, teaching classes, advising. I'm the lead academic advisor for our distance learning program. My wife, Emily, is a sixth grade teacher, and we have three beautiful kids, AJ, Eliana, and Maya. So,
all right,
plenty to keep us busy.
I was going to say, you're well invested in the community that you live, so. So I'm just asking everybody, this is most basic, so what do you see your role would be as a board member?
Well, I think one of the biggest things is listening, learning. If I were elected to the board, to just listen and learn from the current board members, listen and learn from our administrators, our teachers, our students, and just taking all the information in. I don't plan on, I have all these plans of actions. I mean, I think I have a lot of things that I've learned through different experiences, both working at education department here at William Penn, as well as with I've served on the district advisory committee for Oskaloosa School District for the last few years. Learned a lot of things through that. So while I have a lot of things I think I can bring to the table, it's more just about listening and learning and seeing, okay, what can I do to do my job as a school board member, which for me is to understand the policies per the state of Iowa of what we can legally do. What should we be doing based on information from the Iowa Association of School Board, the IASB. I've used that as a resource to start learning a lot of things, and we'll plan on continuing to do so. But then really being an active member of the community and, going to sporting events, we're local members of a local church here, getting out in church, talking to people, hearing people, both the good things, the bad things, what we need to change to make Oski schools and this community great. And I think it is a great place, but continue to move it in the right direction. So.
All right. So, first of all, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but why do you want to serve? And do you see a weakness on the board that maybe you hope that your skill set will help fill?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, I grew up on a farm, and so I think I've thought about, why would I want to do this? Being a farmer, I still farm on the side. Is another thing that I do is I farm on the side with my dad. I'm actually going to go do that tomorrow, actually. So William Penn has fall break, so going to go be on the farm and trying to get some soybeans in. But being a farmer, you always have this natural instinct to want to make things better. You're always working the ground, wanting to improve things, make it better. And that's not to say that your ground that you have isn't already good, but okay, can we increase our corn suitability rating for our soil type? How can I make things better? So I've always had that urge, and I've done the same in education, working at William Penn, is I want to help kids. I'm never one to give up on a kid. Have some kids that struggle at William Penn, and always got to find a way, a different approach to try to get them to get back on track. So both as a whole, from making things better in the school district, making things better for teachers, and most importantly, making things better for students. So just an urge to want to help, but I think that's the biggest thing.
Very good. So, what challenges do you see for the district going forward?
One thing I've noticed, again, working at William Penn, I'll see both there and even in the community in general, is a lot of kids open enrolling and leaving the school district for whatever reason it may be. And seeing firsthand, again, working on the district advisory committee, I've taken football players will volunteer at recess in the Oski schools, so we'll just go and we'll help the teachers out and just do recess duty for them. One, that gives them a break, and two, the kids thinks it's really cool when, man, we got a college football player to play foursquare with. So doing some things like that, I've been able to see firsthand what's going on in the school, and there's a lot of really, really great things in Oski schools. Like, for example, when you're checking into the elementary school and there's a system where you can scan your driver's license and it'll run a background check on you to make sure that it's safe for students. And that's kind of a very unique system that not all schools have, and especially a lot of rural schools don't have anything like that, and that's something Oski does have. And that's just one of a few small things. I mean, getting to know all the teachers, I was fortunate enough to sit in on Mr. Kelly Luck's class in the last few weeks, and just seeing how he does things in the school has just been fantastic to see all the great things our teachers are doing. So just being able to help bring light to all the great things, and I think we can, I think that's the good thing that they have. We have all these good things, great teachers, great technology, but then being able to showcase those things through improved marketing strategies to keep our students here in Oskaloosa.
Well, so you've already started to touch into what positives are you seeing from the district, but also how would you build upon those?
I think it's really important to create resources for our teachers. I've been fortunate enough to know and get to know Mark Scholes, who's one of the principals at Oski schools, and I think he does a fantastic job of creating opportunities for our teachers to grow as far as developmental programs and giving them book studies, things of that sort. So using Principal Scholes as an example of continuing to create opportunities for our teachers to grow and improve. Again, we have fantastic teachers here at Oskaloosa schools, but finding a way to give them more prep time to be able to do an adequate job in the classroom. Standards-based grading is something that Oski schools has gone to, which a lot of other schools around the state have gone to as well. And I think a lot of times people are resistant to change. It's something that's different. But I think if we can give our teachers more prep time to work on things like that, I think that's going to make it better for all parties involved. So.
Okay. So how do you see, and we all kind of know that our communities really revolve around our school districts. They're important, but how do you see the district playing a role in making Mahaska County better?
I think you look at rural communities and you see, schools are the lifeblood of the community. A lot of times if the school goes, then the community goes with it. And I don't think that's not going to be an issue here in Oski, but there's, a lot of times in the school you hear Oski pride. That's kind of a catchphrase that you hear around the school, and I think there's a lot to that of having this sense of pride in our school district. Both from a teacher standpoint, a parent standpoint, everybody involved, parents, students, teachers, administrators, community members, and feeling a sense of pride of what we're doing. And again, that kind of comes back to my idea with the marketing strategies of being able to share with our community, this is what we're doing, whether we're doing it on social media, putting out billboards, advertisements, and just singing our praises, right, of all the great things that we're doing and we're going to continue to do. I mean, you see things like the YMCA going up and the new daycare and lower age level classrooms that are going up. And it's like, that's a tremendous facility for us to have at our disposal as a school district. And I think we need to highlight all of those as much as possible.
Okay. So what role do you believe the school system plays in a child and family's everyday life?
You know, I mean, honestly, it's everything, right? It's at the center of everything. It can make or break a child's day of the type of teacher that you're going to have. I mean, I think back on teachers I've had and what a huge difference they made in my life. So for me, as a parent, that's going to make all the difference in my kid's life of being able to grow as an individual and then prepare them to go out into the workforce, go on to the next level if they choose to pursue post-secondary education, and then one day return back to the community. So, I mean, the answer is it's everything, right? And it's crucial to our continued growth as a community. I mean, I think the success of Oski depends on the success of Oski schools. So that's definitely not a light burden or a task that we can take for granted. So I think as much all of our focus as a community should be on the schools and finding the best way to continue to create the best path for our youth to grow into what this community is going to be one day.
Okay, so coming down, it's the final two questions, so the finish line's in sight. So how would you impact the culture of the district? Does the district have an image problem? And if it does, not saying that it does, but if it does, how would you address that?
So, you know, I don't think we have an image problem. Again, through a lot of the work I've done, both at William Penn, working in our education department and our teacher prep program, and working on the district advisory committee, been able to see things firsthand. And there's not necessarily an image problem per se, but I think that we can just take Oski to new heights. Again, I've seen so many great things with the administrators we've had, and I've been fortunate enough to develop a relationship. I've got to know our superintendent. Mr. Scholes teaches some classes on the sides for William Penn, so got to know him. Mr. Kirby, Jeff Kirby, who was hired as the principal, he was a teacher of mine at Sigourney back in the day when I was a kid and coached me in junior high football. So again, have a good working relationship with them. Mm-hmm. And I think that's key, is having those relationships, both again with whether it's administrators. There's a lot of teachers that both at the elementary and high school level that I go to church with. We go to church at the local Christian church here, my wife and I, so got to know a lot of the teachers through that. And I think building those relationships would allow me to come into the school board and be able to work with all those individuals, again, both from the administrator level to the teacher level. And I think both are equally important to work with them on that and to make things better here in Oskaloosa. But also, I think with my experience at William Penn, what we've been doing with our distance learning education program is we offer classes of an evening and our program specifically tailored. Anybody can join our program, but it's tailored more towards individuals that are working in the school. So para-educators, associates, secretaries, anything of that sort that doesn't have their teaching license, and we're working with them so they can continue to do their job and work in the school, but complete their teaching license, which I think is a huge deal with the teacher shortage across the state. So having our program, which is headed up by Shane Arisman, who is the former superintendent at Linville-Sully Schools. So I've been very fortunate to work under him and learn a lot of things from him, being a former superintendent, that I think have really prepared me to step into a role on the school board, both learning policy, procedures, things of that sort. And I think that we can work with our program to help Oski and ensure that we are going to have as many teachers as we need going forward. And again, it's a massive, well-known problem of having a teacher shortage. Even finding substitute teachers is a major issue. And so I think with those relationships that I have with people currently in place in the Oski School District, as well as my experiences at William Penn, that I think I can really help Oski continue to improve, which they've been doing in the last few years especially.
So here's the point of the interview or the chat where I let you talk about something or a couple of things that I haven't touched on that maybe you had some notes and said, I really hope Ken talks about these.
Right, absolutely. I think you brought up a lot of good things, and I think I've covered about all that I want to cover. I think it's big, some of the biggest things are just being the type of individual that's going to promote a positive culture in the school district. While I won't be in the school building every single day the way a school administrator or teacher would be, I still plan on being, again, I mentioned, the other day, not even being on the school board, I was able to sit in on a class just to, gain better perception of what's going on. I'm not going to be one where I'm just going to come in and want to make changes and do this and that. I want to listen. I want to learn. I want to value the diversity in all individuals and opinions of everybody involved. Whether you're, a high-achieving student family or you're a family with somebody with learning disabilities. I think finding ways to equip our teachers with the time and the skills to teach that wide range of student. I think about things, for me, I try to practice what I preach. I think that education is everything. I've completed 2 master's degrees so far, and I'm actually working on my 2nd bachelor's degree right now, and that's actually in education. So I'm trying to prepare myself for a role in the school district, and I think that's the best way to do it. I'm learning right now about what are some different tactics you can have in a classroom to teach both all of your students, whether you have that high achieving tag student or you have a student in special education. If I'm teaching a history course and I'm gonna teach inquiry skills, so I'm teaching how to, if I show you a picture from the early 1900s, okay, what do you see in this picture? That's a question that everybody can answer, right? And then you can use that to work your way towards teaching them about primary and secondary sources. So I think finding, different exercises, ways of teaching to our teachers to equip them to best handle that high level of differentiation that we have here in Oski schools is going to be big. And I believe that that's something that they're already doing, what I just mentioned, but just strategies such as that, maybe giving them professional development opportunities, a few more, so that they continue to grow as teachers and we can best serve our students. I think a big issue is the mask issue in school and things of that sort, and that's the type of thing where, again, through my role at William Penn, I've been fortunate to get to know a lot of people. I've got to know Kevin Durande, the CEO at Mahaska Health, and just learning from him has been tremendous, to learn from individuals such as himself. And that's something, the mask issue, the COVID issue, that's something where, again, I would be leaning on individuals such as Kevin Durande, okay? Experts in the medical field, we'll defer to them, and what's the best thing we should be doing both for our students and our community's health. And those would be the recommendations we would take going forward. So again, I don't think I'm a candidate that, knows everything, and is going to change all these things. No, I think I have a ton of strengths that I bring to the area and things that set me apart that nobody else has. But at the same time, I'm one to listen and learn. I view myself as a servant leader, and I value everybody's opinion, learning from our current teachers, learning from our students. I think a lot of times as teachers, we're quick to just talk and tell. To me, a great classroom is one that is, I don't want to say loud, but it shouldn't be a perfectly quiet classroom. When there's talking happening, that means that there's learning going on. So I think as much as we can empower our teachers and our students to be themselves, be engaged, and give them all the resources they need to succeed. In the end, we'll continue to make Oski a great place, both as a community and a school district, of course.
All right. So once again, your name is?
Aaron Hinnah. And
you are running for?
I'm running for the Oskaloosa School Board, District 5.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming in and sharing your vision for the school and answering my questions, and we will look forward to seeing you this next week.
Absolutely.
All right,
Appreciate it.
Thank you.